Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Peter Ganesa.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Gibraltar family. One more year here, and it's great to see we have at least twice as many people as we had last year. Thank you. Thanks to you for coming. Thank you. Formalities first. In the very unlikely event that we may have to evacuate the square, there are 4 exits. One is to my left, which is Landport, one to my right, which is Casemates Gate, and there are 2 behind you, Main Street and Casemates Hill. Let me remind you that you're not allowed to smoke in the toilets that have fire and smoke alarms fitted. This is our 31st National Day. Why did we choose this day? Because on the 10th of September 1967, only some of you here will remember, we voted immensely in favour of remaining British and not becoming Spanish. 12,138 votes. Only 44 people voted against. Okay, so to celebrate that day in 1967 when we chose to remain British, we start proceedings with showing our allegiance to the British Crown. If you're able to, can you please stand as Nathan Bayas leads us in the national anthem. Thank you, Nathan, who has to remain in fine vocal form, and so do you. But before we go any further and sing our next song, let me introduce you to Lizzie Wharton, who is our BSL interpreter, in case we have anybody here with hearing issues. So we continue to sing, and in the most traditional way of our Casemates rally, we are going to sing Llévame donde nací.
Help me out, Gibraltar. Okay, I'm sure you all know this one. This is for past generations of Gibraltarians. Llévame donde nací, y a tu lado quiero estar. No hay un sitio para mí como mi buen Gibraltar. Todo donde vida luz tengo puesta mi
Thank you Nathan, who will be back later on to lead us in the Gibraltar anthem. As you know, from year to year, we have a lot of very, very good friends in the United Kingdom. Some of them managed to take some time out of their busy schedules to join us here and celebrate with us. There's no exception this year, so can I please introduce the friends who have come from the UK to be with us today. We start with Baroness Butler-Sloss. From the Ulster Unionist Party, we've got Lord Rogan. From the Liberal Democratic Party, we've got Edward Morello, MP. From the Conservative Party, Martin Vickers, MP. The Right Hon. Baroness Hooper. Lord Council, and Lord Brady. From the Labour Party, also the chair of the all-party parliamentary group on Gibraltar, please welcome Amanda Martin. And Matt Bishop. And our next guest is no longer a Member of Parliament, but continues to be a great friend of Gibraltar. We gave him the Freedom of the City earlier this week because he's been so good in fighting our cause in the United Kingdom. Will you please welcome Sir Bob Neill. And the last of our guests, of our visitors, by no means least, is the Minister for Europe. Will you please welcome back to our stage of Tastemates, Stephen Doughty.
Well, happy National Day Gibraltar. Last year, you made me feel a bit like a rock star rather than a politician. I haven't managed to land a record deal, but I am absolutely delighted to be back here with you. And it is genuinely a pleasure to be here. I've spent a lot of time in Gibraltar over the years, spent a lot of time with Gibraltarians, and it is always such a warm welcome. And once again, I feel truly honoured to be with you and very much at home. And I come with greetings from the Prime Minister, which have been conveyed to the Chief Minister, from our new Foreign Secretary, Vet Cooper, who spoke with the Chief Minister just last night. And looking out across this square reminds me of what makes this place so special. The sea of red and white, the music, the families, the smell of good food, the flags flying high proudly, Gibraltarian and British flags flying in this square. And this is of course much more than just a celebration. It's a statement of pride and of unity, and that is something that we should all pay tribute to, and it's a pleasure to be part of today. And you know, and we know, that for more than 300 years, Gibraltar has been a hugely important and cherished part of the British family. And this is a bond built on enduring friendship and partnership. And I think it's particularly important this year, as we've marked the 80th anniversary of the end of the Second World War, that we remember Gibraltar's extraordinary role in that struggle. And particularly all of those who served, veterans who are with us here today, and those who tragically lost their lives, because we know as a fortress, as a key naval base, it's still at the heart of Allied strategy in the Mediterranean, and the courage and sacrifice of citizens here should never be forgotten. I think also that spirit of resilience that we saw 80 years ago is something that still defines Gibraltar today. You've all built something truly remarkable, and it's a community that genuinely not only leads but also inspires. It's a community that continues to shine on the world stage, whether that's your bold action on the environment with your 25-year environment plan, 10 years of the Mario Finlayson National Art Gallery, which is a beacon of creativity and cultural pride, and of course Team Gibraltar's outstanding success at the Island Games, and I'm sure we can give a big round of applause again to all the fantastic athletes leading a very impressive haul of medals. And also through Gibraltar Pride, Aspire 2025, conference. You are championing inclusion and innovation, so long may that continue. And of course, when we're in a world that is a world that is very, very challenging at the moment, geopolitically, in terms of the threats to freedom, to our security, as Britain, as Gibraltar, to our liberties, Gibraltar continues to play an absolutely critical role in regional security. And British forces Gibraltar are a cornerstone of this effort, and we're deeply grateful for the professionalism and the dedication of all of those who serve here, and can I give them a huge round of applause as well. But as we look to the future with hope, together this is a moment where we also reflect on a very historic year, and the agreement reached in June between the United Kingdom, Gibraltar and the EU shows what diplomacy and cooperation can achieve. And fundamentally that's focused on securing your prosperity, your stability, your security for generations to come, and the prosperity, security and stability of all of us. It's a deal that avoids a hard land border. It's going to enable the fluid movement of people and goods in both directions. It's a deal that's going to strengthen Gibraltar's economy and connectivity. And it's a deal that marks the beginning, I hope, of a new era filled with opportunity and promise. And let me assure you that both myself personally and the United Kingdom government will continue to see this through until it's in place. We're putting our shoulder to the wheel over these crucial weeks, and we will always stick with Gibraltar when it matters. We always have, and we always will. Our teams are working to finalise that crucial text of the treaty to ensure you have the stability and certainty you deserve. But of course, Gibraltar's sovereignty, Gibraltar's self-determination will never be crossed. We will always stand for it. We've always stood for it, and we will continue to do so in the future. And I want to pay tribute to all of your patience and perseverance that's provided the space for this agreement to become a reality. And throughout this process, I really want to say this with genuine affection and appreciation. The relationship that I've had with Fabian, with Joseph, with Sir Joe, with the whole team here in the government of Gibraltar has been absolutely remarkable, with the governor and all of the officials who've worked through day and night to get us to where we are. So thank you to that team of Gibraltar. And I want to assure you of a very fundamental principle, which I believe applies to all of our overseas territories, all of the British family, which is nothing about you without you. And I can assure you that the Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister and their teams have been at the table at every point during this, and we have led with them. This has been a partnership, and I think it's what says something very special about the relationship between Britain and Gibraltar into the future, and they will remain an integral part of that relationship going forward. So this is an agreement with Gibraltar, it's for Gibraltar. Thank you to all of you who've taken part in that. Thank you for your patience and perseverance. But today is one of celebration. Let's raise our voices, let's wave the flags, and let's celebrate this incredible place. It's a genuine pleasure to be with you. Thank you very much. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Family today exists because 33 years ago, the Self-Determination for Gibraltar group decided that we needed to demonstrate our loyalty to Britain and our right to self-determination. The SDGG has been responsible for this rally year after year. Their chairman this year, and for the past few years, is our next speaker. Will you please welcome Richard Buttigieg.
Good afternoon, Gibraltar. We stand here today celebrating our identity as British Gibraltarians. We also stand here to defend our right to self-determination. And above all, we stand here today to proudly celebrate our National Day. The SDDG is proud to organize this rally, and it is truly a privilege for us to be able to do so. Seeing you here in Casemates is all the motivation we need to continue. But I think it is important that we continue to reiterate our message to the world. Gibraltar belongs to the Gibraltarians. The Rock is our home. The Rock will be our home forever, and absolutely no one is going to tell us what to do with our homeland. It seems some do not understand this simple message. So it is crucial that we continue to repeat to the whole world, loud and clear, that Gibraltar will remain British for however long we want it to be. Because no one is going to dictate to us what we should do. No one is going to impose their wishes on us. No one is going to decide the future of our land except the people of Gibraltar. We welcome good neighbourly relationships. We have never wished for anything else. We have many families and friends in Spain, but we most certainly do not want to antagonize our neighbours. But no one must confuse our generosity and our kindness with weakness. Everyone must understand that when it comes to the defense of our homeland, our rights, and especially our sovereignty, the people of Gibraltar are steadfast in their resolve. We are a people forged from the sacrifices of those before us, generations who endured great hardships so that we can stand here today to proclaim our unique identity and proudly call this wonderful rock behind us our home. So we owe it to those who fought before us, and we owe it especially to our children, to never ever surrender and to continue the defense of our sovereignty. It is not a time for bickering. It is not a time for division. Now, more than ever, we must stand together. There is much more that unites us than that which separates us. We must stand as one because no matter the consequences, it is very important that we collectively rise to any challenges during what is a critical juncture in our history. Unity, to be real, must stand the severest strain without breaking. And so we must not break. And there is no better way to withstand any strain than as a united community. As we always say, el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. And let no one say the fight is not worth it. Let no one convince you that we have been fighting for too long. Do not ever think of giving up. Because when I see all these children and all of our wonderful youth here today, I want them to be able to grow up proudly and safely, like we have, in our Gibraltar, our British Gibraltar, our free Gibraltar. Thank you very much.
Are we working? We are working. He just likes doing that. That's the thing. Thank you, Richard, for that great rousing speech. It's exactly what we want to hear on a day like today. One of our biggest supporters as well in the UK is a group of people known as the All-Party Parliamentary Group for Gibraltar. Their chair this year, as last year, happens to be one of our guests today. You met her briefly earlier. Will you please welcome Amanda Martin?
Thank you everybody and good afternoon. What a privilege it is to stand before you today on this most important day in Gibraltar's calendar. As I enter my second year as your chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group in Gibraltar in the UK, and my second year as the Member of Parliament for Portsmouth North, the home of the Royal Navy, I want to bring great wishes not just from my government and the party, but also from my city. I am proud to, alongside the Minister, represent Westminster today and the entire United Kingdom, which stands shoulder to shoulder with Gibraltar, not just today, but always. 58 years ago, on this very date, the people of Gibraltar spoke with one voice. In this historic referendum of 1967, you declared with an overwhelming clarity that Gibraltar's future lay with Britain, and that your identity as Gibraltarians was extrinsically linked with your British sovereignty. And today we celebrate not just that momentous decision, but the remarkable journey that has brought us to this defining moment in Gibraltar's modern history. 2025 will be remembered as a historic for another reason. Just 3 months ago, after years of negotiation diplomacy, we witnessed the signing of the UK-EU Gibraltar Trade and Mobility Agreement. The landmark treaty represents a transformation in Gibraltar's relationship with Europe, and whilst preserving everything that matters to you. The agreement removes the barriers that stood between Gibraltar and prosperity. No longer will families be separated by lengthy border queues. No longer will businesses struggle with the uncertainty that has clouded some of the economic horizons. Gibraltar remains British. Gibraltar remains sovereign under the Crown, and your self-determination is so powerful. It was exercised in 1967 and has reaffirmed repeatedly since then and remains proudly undiminished. As we've heard, MPs from across the political spectrum have travelled with me here today, and with one shared commitment to ensure that Gibraltar's voice is heard and protected, not just here, but in Westminster. Parliament's support for Gibraltar is not a party political matter. It transcends the divisions of Westminster politics. And over the decades, Gibraltar has faced challenges that would have broken lesser communities. Border closures, economic pressures, diplomatic tensions. But through it all, you have remained steadfast, resilient and united. And you should be extremely proud of yourselves, as we are of you. Your commitment to British identity never wavered, even when that commitment came at a considerable cost. Your belief in your very own future never diminished, even when that may have seemed uncertain at times. And as we celebrate National Day today, we know that we do so knowing that Gibraltar's best days lie ahead of us. Treaties and agreement do not build prosperity by themselves. That requires the continued hard work, ingenuity, determination that have characterised the people of Gibraltar. It requires the same spirit that transformed a strategic military outpost into a thriving modern economy. The young people of Gibraltar today, of which there are many in this square, and I look proudly upon them as a previous teacher before doing this job, because we know that our youth are our future. Finally, let me say how honoured I am to serve as the chair and the first woman chair of the all-party parliamentary group at this historic moment. I do not take lightly the interest in UK Parliament of Gibraltar that I must represent. It is an extreme privilege. And as you celebrate today in your red and white, remember that you do so not only as proud Gibraltarians, but as proud British citizens whose rights are protected and whose voices are heard. And as we say in the Royal Navy, fair winds and travelling seas. And as we say from Westminster and in Gibraltar, happy Gibraltar National Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amanda, and thank you to all the members of the all-party parliamentary group on Gibraltar. We're almost done. We've got one more speech to go. Please, will you give a truly Gibraltarian welcome, as you always do, to Chief Minister Picardo.
Fellow Gibraltarians, you look better every year in red and white. And before we start, let's remember those who are not here at Casements, because they cannot be here at Casements. Those that are at home, those that are in our elderly residential facilities, those who are away from Gibraltar. I know all of you are always red and white, and your heart is always home on the rock. And a big thank you also to those who are working today, making the day better for all of us. Our law enforcement officials, the bar staff, the people who are putting all of this show together. Thank you, everyone working on National Day. Thank you in particular to the people who cleaned the square last night to make it clean for us and who will clean it after we've left. Thank you to the people from Britannia. And to Fonti and the whole crew that make the fair and National Day happen every year. Now, my dear fellow Gibraltarians, we have been celebrating this year for 33 years already. And our red and white day is now famous well beyond our frontiers. And no less so in Buckingham Palace. The first thing I need to do as part of my job as Chief Minister is to read you a message from His Majesty the King. King Charles III, the King of Gibraltar. This morning, His Majesty caused His Excellency the Governor to hand me a message that I should read to you all at casements. These are the words of His Majesty the King. As you and the people of Gibraltar celebrate the auspicious occasion of your National Day, my wife and I have great pleasure in conveying our warmest congratulations to your Chief Minister and to the people of Gibraltar. As a cherished member of our overseas family, it is with great pride that I reflect on the many achievements of the people of Gibraltar. It seems to me that our shared history, interests and values have fostered in both countries a deep mutual loyalty and respect, which has served us so well in working together on matters of economic, cultural and environmental importance. I know that we will continue to collaborate on climate change and sustainability, and I commend your continued efforts to find innovative and long-lasting solutions to complex issues such as the replanting of native seagrass in Gibraltar's waters to combat species decline and increase carbon capture, as well as the development of Gibraltar's 25-year environment plan, which places sustainable development goals at the heart of creating a greener, more sustainable and low-carbon Gibraltar. My wife and I would like to take this opportunity to send our very best wishes for the year ahead. Charles, King of England and King of Gibraltar. On behalf of all of Gibraltar, Your Majesty, thank you. I've also today received a letter from the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, my friend and your friend, Keir Starmer. And the Prime Minister says this. He sends us our warmest wishes, his warmest wishes on National Day. He says this: this day stands as a testament to the enduring strength, unity and democratic will of the Gibraltarian people. It is also a moment to reaffirm the deep and historic bond between Gibraltar and the United Kingdom, built on shared values, mutual respect, and a steadfast commitment to self-determination. This year's celebrations carry added significance following the political agreement reached on the 11th of June between the United Kingdom, the European Union, Gibraltar and Spain. Following extensive and constructive negotiations, this agreement marks a pivotal step towards a future treaty that will ensure a prosperous and secure future for Gibraltar. I pay tribute to the Chief Minister, your government and your negotiating team for the pivotal role you played in steering these negotiations over many years to a successful conclusion. Our teams continue to work to finalize the text of the treaty, ensuring that the people and businesses of Gibraltar have the certainty and stability they deserve. Gibraltar and its people will always be a cherished part of the United Kingdom family. the foundation stone of our partnership remains the connections of our people, supported by the UK's resolute position on sovereignty and self-determination by the people of Gibraltar. I reaffirm once again my government's commitment to the double lock. As you gather in red and white to mark this special day, I know you will do so with pride in all that Gibraltar has achieved and with confidence in the future that we are building together. Thank you, Prime Minister. Yesterday evening, I spoke to Yvette Cooper, who is the new Foreign Secretary of the United Kingdom, who wished us all a very happy National Day and confirmed the United Kingdom's commitment to the double lock on the sovereignty of Gibraltar. An even bigger thank you to the Minister for Europe, Steve Doughty, who got on a plane this morning, is in Gibraltar just for a few hours and is one of our best friends ever in any British government. And a thank you to all of our friends from all the political parties here today, led by Amanda, as they were previously led by the brilliant, now Freeman of the City, Bob Neal. So that's what they have to say. What do I have to say to you today? My dear friends, what the whole world now knows is that we are always going to be British. Always. We're always going to be an integral part of the British family, whoever that may pain. It will never change. Because when we talk about our right to decide, the right of self-determination, we're also saying one more thing. We decide to stay British forever. No one can ever untie the knot that joins us to Britain, a knot that is tied in perpetuity. And this year, we can celebrate our British sovereignty after we've done what we told you we would. We, that's Gibraltar and Britain together, have done a deal with the EU which does not compromise our sovereignty in any way. That's what I promised you, that's what we've done. I told you we would never surrender any part of our British sovereignty for any one breath of our air. It's all British forever. Me pone nervioso. Because we owe it to us and to you never to cede, never to surrender. We owe it to the evacuation generation who fought to come back to the rock. Eso del llévame donde nací, esa era su canción. Aquí volvieron. We owe it to the referendum generation that stood up to the midget murderous dictator in Madrid. Their free choice is what we celebrate today. And we owe it to the closed frontier generation that endured the last siege of Gibraltar. For them, for our parents, for our grandparents, but most importantly, for our children, for our children's children, because this is their land. This is the land we leave to our future generations and their future generations. The sacred land where our ancestors are buried. Our ancestors, they are the ones who built this city on a hill. They built a city on a rock. the strongest foundations on which to build. And we're the Brexit generation. And we have had to defend our home for the next generation. And now we're in the last stages of preparing a treaty, and in doing so, we won't blink in making sure it's as safe and secure as the deal we've announced is. Together with Britain, we've seen off many foes over many centuries. Now, with a new treaty with the EU, with a new relationship with our neighbours, we can build a better future. A future with more opportunities. A future with less obstacles. A future that will be better for all of our precious children. But a future, make no mistake about it, as exclusively British forever as we said it would be. And off the UN list. And in that future, we, the Gibraltarians, are unstoppable. Our nation is unstoppable. Our people are unstoppable. Because we are the people of this rock, the Gibraltarians, los Llanitos, British forever, red, white and blue, red, white and proud, red, white and free. Thank you. I love you, Gibraltar. Happy National Day.
Thank you very much, Chief Minister. Thank you to all our speakers. Thank you to the SDPD for organising a rally like this one. And thanks to all of you for coming here in your thousands today. Thank you to Lizzie Wharton for doing our BSL for us. Not much more to say than wishing you a very happy National Day. We now stand, if we can, to join Nathan Payas in our Gibraltar anthem. See you next year.